sight or sound of him for a long time.
왜 나타나서?
Then yesterday, he turned up at the church and even talked to the parish priest.
결국 신부를 만나서 뭔가 해야 된다는
I
것
don't
같아요.
think he was home.
Do you know who Lou Boshy?
As far as I know, he had nobody.
완전히 혼자였다.
That's all.
Take care.
아, 얘 죽어있는데요? 어떡하지? 이게 내 거고 넣어놓자. 훔친 거를 넣어놔야 돼. 들키지 않게. 딴 건 없지? 그 훔쳤던 옷들이 있거든요? 뭘 훔쳤는데? 스탠버그 흰갑인가? 아니었나? 그래, 배선이 피 묻어 있는 것들이 훔친 걸 거야. 공격력. 이건 3개나 있네? 가시 달린 전투망치. 이거 빼는 거였구나. 잠시만. 이렇게 하면 안 되는데? 거꾸로 했네? 일단 잠을 좀 자야겠어. 옷을 좀 갈아입고 이게 뭐지? 다리 판금 갑옷. 다리 판금 갑옷? 내가 다리 판금 갑옷이 있나? 일단 이거는 방어도가 0이네. 지금 내구도가 0이네. 덧댄 슈스. 이거 사슬 슈스로 해야지. 나머지는 넣어놓자. 오케이. 여기서 자면 저장이 되죠? 저장하기. 기력 100%. 저장이 됐고, 사라졌네? 내려가자. 밥 먹고, 비가 오니까 처마 아래에 있네. 구현을 잘해놓은 것 같아. 근데 이렇게 이쪽으로 들이치고 있지 않나? 일단 맞아, 저녁에 만나라고 했는데. 저녁. 그러면 안쪽에서 저녁에 기다리자. 응? 잠깐만. 이건 뭐지? 상자들이 있는데 볼까요? 아주 어려움. 아주 어려움이네. 잠깐, 너네 문 닫아봐. 저기 쉬움 자리가 있었거든. 이렇게 하면 아무도 못 보겠죠? 쉬움. 요거 한번 열어봅시다. 과연 무엇이 있을까요? 짠. 그렇게 비싼 게 없네. 역시 비싼 거는 이런 데 있는 건가? 아주 어려움 열고 싶다. 이것도 막 저녁에 좀 털고 다녀야겠네. 지금 자물쇠 따기 7레벨인데 레벨 제한 9. 한 12 정도 되면은 매우 어려움 딸 수 있을까? 근데 밖에서는 비가 와가지고 손님도 없네. 비 올 때는 손님도 없어. 안쪽에서 기다립시다. 짠, 1시간. 뭐야? 루미르. 여기 신부 있네. 얘 이름이 있는 거 보니까 뭔가 알고 있지 않을까? 루보씨에 대해서 말해줄 수
I've come
있나?
in the name of Sir Hanish of Lipa.
I don't know anything about it, but ask all you want.
중요한 사람 같아. 아 근데 다 말한 적이 있다고 뜨네? 뭐지? 마을 사람들이 다 똑같은 건가 봐. 신부한테 말 걸어봅시다.
The blessings of our Lord be.
And with you, lad. Take a seat.
앉기. 말하기.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work
말해줄 수
something out.
없다.
But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor?
어디서
Where
왔나?
are you from?
아 이거 정직하게 말해야 될 것 같은데?
Oh. I'm sorry. What about your kin?
죽었습니다.
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
내가 정직해져야지 얘도 정직해져.
We'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
아
It
끔찍했죠.
was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. The parents, the girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do.
사연을 만나는 사람마다 이렇게 주저리 이야기해야 돼?
They almost killed me.
구질구질하고
Slaughtered people in the surrounding village.
주저리 이야기해야 돼?
There's a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovno.
뭔가 동정심 얻기 작전인가?
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch Bernard.
그건 맞습니다.
Did, but I found a witness.
평판 상승.
Here to Ujit, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah.
근데 이게 평판이 그 마을 평판인지 아니면은
Their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that.
마을 평판인지 아니면은 그 개인적인 평판을 이야기하는 건지 잘 모르겠네.
Good folks here about are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
그 소문들은 전부
The
사실입니다.
rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves.
서로 싸우느라 공격을 멈추지 않았다면 더 많은 사람들이 죽었을 게
Still
분명하다.
settling accounts.
그러니까
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed.
서로 다른 그룹이었거나 아니면 뭐
Here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so
중간에 뭐 나눠져 가지고
I've told you
싸웠거나
all
뭐
about me.
의견
Now it's
충돌을
your
했거나.
turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business.
근데 보통 이 일이 일어나고 있는 중간에는 조금 갈라지기가 힘들죠.
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are
그러니까 얘는 그게 중요해. 비밀이 지켜지지 않아서 교회를 더 이상 믿지 않으면 고해 성사를 하러 오지 않아. 교회를 믿지 않고. 그럼 이거는 그거다. 장사방해다. 아, 방법이 없구만.
Those cutthroats will strike again and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But first thing tomorrow, I'll try something.
아침 일어나자마자 뭔가 도울 방법을 생각.
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be
재미있는 설교를 원한다.
If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. condemning vices,
화제가
and
되는
of
거.
course describing them in detail. The tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days, and stories from real life with a nice.
니네가 교황
especially if they're
밑에 있는
about
애가 아니야?
similar scandalous vices.
그러니까 뭔가 자기 상관을 까는 게
Well,
사람들이
recently a priest
즐거워하는
by the name of
모양이네.
Jan Hus started preaching in Prague in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable
야누스?
in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like
종교인이 썩어
hungry
문드러졌다.
ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything.
그러니까 뭔가 교회가
You want to
타락을
baptize
했다.
Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive
아,
furs.
주사위 도박을 하고
While
아,
Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
그러니까 좀 자학적인 설교를 좀 한다.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
그러면은
Let's drink to that.
신도들을 좋아한다.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
사사우의 사사우에 있는 수도원이 뭐 좀 방탕한가 봐요. 방탕에 반대하는 설교를 하고 싶습니까?
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
얀 후스에 대해서 어떻게 생각하십니까?
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here
열성적이다.
for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
후스 선생의 설교.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
읽는 방법을 모르잖아. 얘 글도 모르던데. 사람들은 이에 대해 어떻게 말하고
What do
있습니까?
the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to
좋아한다.
hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud.
혼자 생각만 하고 두려워서 말하지 못했던
And they're calling for change. In a few years,
그런
grown beyond
생각들이
control.
많죠.
You mark my words, the people
지금도
will rise
이야기를
up,
못 하잖아.
the church will be shaken to its very
누군가
foundation.
이야기해주면 아 시원하다 좋다 이렇게 생각을 한다는 거지.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
설교에 관해서는 충분히
Thanks
들었습니다.
for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough.
It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
좋은 생각이다.
That sounds like a
평판
good
상승.
plan.
I knew you would.
술 마신다고 하니까 평판이 상승하네. 저는 술을 잘 안 마시는 게 아니라 아예 안 마시죠. 저는 술을 아예 안 마십니다. 담배랑 술을 안 해요. 몸이 안 좋아서 그런 거 하면은 막 몸이 급격하게 안 좋아집니다.
Enough of this. Bailiff, come on over here. Sit down and have a drink with us.
그만하라고?
Don't vex me again, father. It's 3 hours past dusk.
아, 통금이 지났다.
So what? So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men,
맞아. 읽고 쓸 줄 아는 사람은 이게 좀 배우고 와야 돼. 다른 데서 배워서 옵니다. 그래서 중세시대엔 글 읽고 쓸 줄 아는 사람이 많이 없었어.
You looking for a fight?
저 행정관이더라도 읽을 줄은 아는데 쓸 줄은 잘 몰라. 고두인 신부를 도우시오. 뭐야, 앞에 있는 애를 공격하네.
Jesus Christ! 군다.
공방일체. 그렇지. 오, 뭐, 자신 있어? 스태미나 딸린다. 맞겠는데? 야, 반속이 느려진가봐. 나 방어구도 새로 맞췄어. 야, 시야가 삐뚤어졌는데? 뭐야, 싸움 박질 했는데 평판이 상승한다고? 뭐지? 종탑으로 올라가시오. 뭐야, 우리가 이겼나? 여기 떨어지면 큰일 나겠는데?
Watch the step, my dears.
계단 조심하라고.
Don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a mood.
근데 사적인 공간에 들어왔다는데? 아, 그러면 얘 퀘스트 할 때는 좀 꺼주지 이거.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
마을 사람 다 깨겠는데?
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here.
야, 큰일 나겠는데? 잠시만. 안 돼요. 지금 19가 나오고 있습니다. 빨리 이거 지나가야 돼. 안 돼. 큰일 날 뻔했네. 뭐야, 옷 다 벗었잖아. 아직도 막 휘청휘청하네. 이대로 괜찮은 건가? 신부의 신뢰를 이것은 마치
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
마치 그래서 말을 해줬나?
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell.
Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry.
술이 사람을 개로 만듭니다.
You certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would
물과
eat my
음식이
hairy arse
있다.
before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
미사를 해야 된다.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh,
설교도 해야
it's a
된다.
disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague.
프라하에서
You
공부를
wanna share
하고
the words of
오는
Master
길이라고?
Jan Hus, who you recently heard
얀
preaching.
후스 선생의 가르침을 나누고 싶다.
Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
음주 레벨 상승. 고해 성사의 비밀 의문은 더 이상 신성하지 않은 겁니까? 이런 거 말하면 안 돼. 이런 거 떠올리게 해서는 안 돼. 좋다 해야 돼.
All right. I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out.
선술집에서 들었던 거를 그대로 하면 된다.
Tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
갑시다. 잠깐 옷을 입어야 되는데? 이거 훔친 걸로 돼 있네? 뭐지? 어제까지는 훔친 거 안 돼 있었잖아. 팔방어구. 잠깐만, 이게 팔방어구야? 팔방어구가 뭐지? 아 이거 끼고 있었구나. 아 빼. 일단 스탯이 오른 것 같은데 음주, 맥주 고래 더 많이 마실 수 있다. 음주병 효과가 도는 동안 궁술 기술 2%. 아 술 많이 안 마신대나? 맥주 고래로 합시다. 시야가 아직도 휘청휘청 거리는구만. 갈거야 갈거야. 내가 할 말은 아니지만 뭐야 평판하라? 왜 갑자기?
Never show up. The spill.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
아 신부가 저 상태면은 조금
Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabilis amanus.
믿음이 안 가지 않을까?
Hac facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof.
근데 이거
You
약간
might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where by the grace of God was able to hear Master Jan.
아니구나. 난 또 그 안쪽에 입은 옷이 이게 튀어나오는 줄 알았는데 소매 부분에 이게 아니라 이게 끈이었구나. 소매 끈이었네.
And tell us what he heard. Because as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will cue first.
저렇게 팔 이렇게 앞에 내밀고 하나? 자신 있게 설교를 시작한다. 조심스럽게 설교를 시작한다. 장황하게 해봐.
Greetings, brothers and sisters in Christ. I am here to tell you about Mother Church and to show you through my words how she is falling into decay and abandon, how the once great mother of all Christians is losing her dignity and trading in souls like the merchants in the temple. But I am digressing.
That whelp wants to preach about the church.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule.
좀 옷 상태가 별로 안 좋아서 그런가? 지금? 거칠게 이어나가.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, cumens, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning
평판
almost
상승.
the whole
다행이다.
of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
이렇게 했어야 됐네.
Shame. Shame upon them.
간음죄에 대해서
They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
거칠게
Enough
이어나간다.
about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse.
화수
The money
올랐다.
grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows. And he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbor one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion?
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
아, 좀 잘못한 것 같은데? 다시 할까?
Have you no shame, you pair of buffoons? I'll be writing to the bishop of this. For shame.
Utterly blasphemous.
Can you believe such behavior? For men of the cloth to get drunk at...
뭔가 다시 해야 될 것 같은데? 취하는 거 넘기고 설교하는 부분만 좀 다시 하자. 여기서 기다리는 거였지? 아, 이거를 설교를 망쳐버렸네.
Hey, I'm dying of thirst here.
I'm sorry I can't. But first I like.
스칼렛이어서 왔다.
Oh.
죽었다.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been terrible.
끔찍했다.
God, I didn't make it. They almost killed me.
My poor child. And how did you come to?
그건 맞다.
Did, but I found a.
Ah. Now the most important.
그 소문들은 사실이다.
Sure they would have.
I see it's every. Well then.
I've told you all about. Well, we've had an. So.
Henry, if people.
방법이 없다.
Chin up, lad.
What?
If I tell you what.
Word of honor?